Welcome to our channel dealing with all types of viral stories and answers to day-to-day questions. This is not medical, psychiatric, legal, or any other type of advice.
Hey everyone. If you're listening to this right now, there's a good chance you're not feeling your best. Maybe it's a cold, maybe it's a fever, or maybe your stomach has decided to protest everything you ate yesterday. Either way, one simple question comes up again and again. What should I eat when I'm sick? Let's break this down properly, using real clinical understanding but explained in a way that actually makes sense in everyday life. First things first, and this might surprise you, food is not your top priority when you're sick. Fluids are. Your body can tolerate missing a meal, but it struggles a lot more when it doesn't get enough water. Dehydration, which just means your body doesn't have enough fluids, makes everything worse. It slows recovery, increases fatigue, and even affects how clearly you can think. Now think about what happens when you have a fever. Your body temperature rises to fight infection. That sounds useful, and it is, but it comes at a cost. Your body sweats more to regulate that heat, and that sweating means you're losing water continuously. Add to that faster breathing, coughing, and mucus production, and suddenly your body is losing fluids from multiple directions at once. Here's an interesting detail. Mucus, that annoying stuff blocking your nose and throat, is mostly water, around 98% of it actually. So when you're dehydrated, mucus becomes thick and sticky. That makes it harder to clear and gives bacteria a chance to hang around longer than they should. In simple terms, not drinking enough water can actually make your symptoms worse and last longer. So what should you drink? The most effective method for rehydration, especially if you have fever, vomiting, or diarrhea, is something called oral rehydration therapy. That sounds complicated, but it's actually very simple. Your body absorbs water better when sugar and salt are present together in the right balance. That's why a basic solution of water, a little sugar, and a little salt works so well. You don't need anything fancy. Coconut water works nicely for mild cases. Clear broth is excellent, especially if you're dealing with congestion. Diluted fruit juice can help, but don't go overboard because too much sugar can backfire. Plain water is always a safe and reliable option. Now, let's talk about electrolytes. These are minerals like sodium and potassium that your body needs for basic functions like muscle movement and heart rhythm. When you're sick, especially with sweating or diarrhea, you lose these quickly. That's why foods like bananas, potatoes, and even simple soups are helpful. They help restore balance inside your body at a cellular level. And yes, we need to talk about chicken soup. It's not just something your grandmother insists on for emotional reasons. There is actual science behind it. Chicken contains an amino acid that behaves similarly to certain medications used to thin mucus. When you cook the soup, this compound gets released into the broth and helps make mucus less sticky and easier to clear. On top of that, research has shown that chicken soup can reduce inflammation by slowing down the movement of certain immune cells that cause swelling and congestion. So when you feel like your nose is blocked and your throat is irritated, that bowl of soup is quietly doing more work than you think. If you want to level it up, add garlic and a bit of spice. Garlic contains compounds that support your immune system, while spicy ingredients can help open up nasal passages. Basically, your soup can go from comfort food to something that feels like a natural decongestant. Ginger is another powerful option. If your stomach feels uneasy or you're dealing with nausea, ginger helps calm things down. It works by reducing inflammation and affecting certain pathways that trigger nausea. Ginger tea, especially warm, is one of the simplest and most effective remedies you can use. Then there's honey. Thick, soothing, and surprisingly effective. It coats your throat and reduces irritation, which helps control coughing. It also has mild antimicrobial properties. But there's one very important rule here. Honey should never be given to infants under 1 year old. For everyone else, it's a solid choice, especially in warm water or tea. Now let's shift to stomach-related illness. If your issue is vomiting or diarrhea, your digestive system needs a gentler approach. This is where simple foods come in. Bananas, rice, applesauce, and toast have traditionally been recommended because they are easy to digest and don't irritate the stomach. However, sticking to only these foods for too long isn't ideal. Your body still needs protein and nutrients to repair itself. So once your symptoms start improving, you should slowly reintroduce foods like boiled eggs, soft vegetables, and lean meats. Probiotics play a role here too. These are beneficial bacteria that help restore balance in your gut after it's been disrupted by illness. Foods like yogurt or fermented items can help speed up recovery and improve digestion over time. Now, let's talk about what not to eat, because sometimes avoiding the wrong foods is just as important as choosing the right ones. First on the list is refined sugar. While it might be tempting to reach for sweets when you feel low on energy, excessive sugar can actually weaken your immune response and increase inflammation. In simple terms, it gives your body more work to do when it's already struggling. Alcohol is another big no. It dehydrates you further, disrupts sleep, and weakens your immune system. If your body is trying to fight an infection, alcohol is basically like someone turning off the lights in the control room. Caffeine should also be limited. It can interfere with rest and may irritate your stomach, especially if you're already dealing with digestive issues. And fried or fatty foods, they tend to sit in your stomach longer and can worsen nausea. There's also a common myth worth clearing up. Many people believe that milk increases mucus production. Research shows that this is not actually true. The thick feeling people notice is just due to the texture of milk, not an increase in mucus. So unless dairy personally makes you feel worse, you don't need to avoid it. Now, let's briefly touch on supplements. Zinc has been studied quite a bit and may help reduce the duration of cold symptoms if taken early. The key is timing and dosage. It works best when started soon after symptoms begin. Vitamin C, on the other hand, is often overhyped. While it's important for overall health, taking it after you're already sick doesn't consistently shorten the illness. It's more useful as part of your regular diet rather than a last-minute fix. So how do you put all of this together in a practical way? In the first couple of days, focus on hydration above everything else. Sip fluids regularly, even if you don't feel like eating much. If your stomach is upset, keep things minimal and gentle. As you start to feel slightly better, introduce simple foods. Think soups, soft foods, and easy-to-digest meals. Add supportive ingredients like ginger, garlic, and honey where appropriate. Once recovery is underway, gradually return to a normal, balanced diet. Include proteins, vegetables, and probiotic-rich foods to rebuild strength and restore your gut health. At the end of the day, your body already knows how to heal. Your job is to support it, not fight against it. Stay hydrated, eat smart, and give yourself the rest you need. And if nothing else, remember this. When you're sick, your body is basically running a full-time repair service. The least you can do is give it the right tools to finish the job.
Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Visit again.